was originally started by Black women because Black women as a group have always chosen their own people over white supremacy. And Latinas haven't done that. I just wanted to let you know that on my page, if you don't support Black Latinas, you don't support Latinas. If you don't support Black women, then you don't support Latinas, because our liberation is tied to everybody's liberation.
Oh, so fabulous. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dumebi Leah. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So today's video is going to be me making the third and final part of this Black Girl Follow Train video, and it's been an awesome ride. I've had fun making these videos. If you're interested in watching the two previous videos that I made on this very topic, I'm going to drop the links in the comment section. I'm going to pin it there. You guys go and watch it. But just to give you guys a brief background of the whole thing, there was this trend started on TikTok, I think like early December of last year, where Black girls were using the hashtag Black Girl Follow Train, and then basically just supporting each other, following each other on TikTok, engaging in each other's content, you know, building that sense of community, supporting each other's businesses just by using the hashtag. And it was a big trend because everybody was talking about it. A lot of Black women benefited from it. They got followers, they got views, they got reposts. Their businesses also benefited, you know, making sales and all of that. I was so happy to see, because that sense of solidarity and sisterhood and Black women winning, I'm here for it. So now the Karens couldn't just let this be what it was. They had to come and insert themselves in the conversation. Lots of videos were flying all over TikTok of white women complaining and crying and talking about, why can't we be a part of this? Why is it just for Black women? You guys are segregating. You are creating a divide and this and that. And they basically did everything they could to try to tear this down and make it look like it was a negative thing when it was a positive thing. So that's what my other two videos are about. If you really want to watch it in depth and see for yourself, go check it out in the comment section. So now today's video is going to be me talking about the Latina community, because they had something to say. They came out and they spoke up against the backlash that the Black Girl Follow Train was getting. I'm just going to play this video right now for you guys to see for yourselves.
Not gonna lie, this follow train is pretty badass. But I want to speak to the phenomenon of something that I've seen that's different between our Black sisters and us. I follow a lot of Black women, and I am seeing them called out in comments repeatedly by palm-colored people, asking them, why not us? You're thinking small. Why are you excluding us? And yet, I haven't seen anybody call us out. And we literally took this idea from them. And this is what they keep trying to tell us. So while we are enjoying the fruits of their labor, their talent, their idea, don't forget to support Black women too. Representation really, really matters. And in my life, I have had more Black women show up for me than any other color out there. So if you see that, call people out on it. I will. And if you're a Black creator, or even if you're just on here, add me. I'm going to add you back. And I will say something to somebody who's coming at you for protecting what is rightfully yours. I see you, sis.
So when the Latina women saw what Black women were doing, they thought, this is nice. We could learn from it. Maybe we could do ours. They did not think about how to drag Black women down or how to insert themselves in this trend. They created their own, taking inspiration from Black women were doing. Do you guys see where I'm driving at right now?
And I am seeing them called out in comments.
This message is so important. At the core of all these following trains is a community wanting to be heard. It started with the Black women community, as it often does, because they simply are silenced very often. They are told they're too loud, they're told they're too aggressive, they're told they're too sensitive, they're too much. And from my experience with my friends that are Black and anybody in the Black community that I have witnessed on TikTok and their general speech, they are frustrated because no matter how much you talk shit, You're still copying them, including us, Latinas. But the incredible part is that they're supportive of us. And just like this creator mentioned, the way that Black people have shown up for her in her life, her whole life, is the same for me. And I can only say how incredible the Black community is. So when I first heard the following train by Black women, I was so excited for them because I knew how they were going to show up for each other, like an insane amount. I also knew that an instant amount of ridiculously inappropriate backlash was going to come from it because people just cannot contain their hatred. I am really glad that the Latina community decided to make their own sound because, in my opinion, it would have been incredibly disrespectful for anyone who is not a Black person to use that sound either ironically, disrespectfully, or even trying to be like, follow me anyways. I've seen private pages pretending to be Black just to get follows. Like, please, go to therapy. But most importantly, we need to support each other. No matter if we have our own follow train of Latinas, if you create another one for Middle Eastern people, if you have one for Indigenous people already, we each need to be supporting one another. We are not going to be the hate in those comment sections. We're going to try to drown it out with support. And I am not above publicly shaming you, taking your nasty little comment that you think is just gonna live in the abyss of that comment section and putting a reply video on my page because your nastiness doesn't need to exist and you will be publicly shamed. And no matter what thread comes out of the original Black women follow thread, give Black women their flowers, give them their credit, and follow their pages.
I haven't seen anybody call us out.
This is why I'm grateful for the algorithm. My last post connected me to this creator, and I got to see this post because it's so important. Why aren't the palm-colored women calling us out? Why aren't they calling out the Latina follow train like they're calling out the Black woman follow train? Because we have whiteness too. And the sooner we acknowledge that, the sooner we can tackle anti-Blackness within our own community. And that's all I'm saying. So if it makes you uncomfortable, cool, fine. Sit in that and then think about what you're going to do differently. Because what I don't want as a Latina is for this first wave feminism to exist in our community and for it to just be a white feminist space. No, thank you.
Not gonna lie, this follow train is pretty badass.
Can we talk about how important this message is, but also how Black women are the least protected women on earth, and how, as a minority that we are, there's absolutely no reason why we should be bystanders in telling Black women how to do a trend that they came up with, or asking them why they can't be included because that you just can't. Learn to be excluded. This, you being this, does not mean you get to be part of every trend. And if you see it, call it out. Because I know for a fact that if somebody of this community was telling us why they can't be included, we wouldn't just cuss them out, but it'd be in Spanish. Let's give credit where credit is due. Because as much as this trend is amazing, and as much as the support feels so great within our own community, ultimately this was a Black creator's idea.
I have been participating, in the Black Girl Follow Train and the Latina Girl Follow Train as well. It's beautiful because, first I saw all the Black ladies, coming together. We're supporting each other. We're following. We're checking out each other's businesses. We're doing what we needed to do from the very beginning. And now we got a platform to do it. So we're doing it. But then I saw my Latina sisters pop in there and say, hey, instead of having something terrible to say, instead of being mean, instead of any of that, they got inspired and, hopped on and started doing the very same thing. And then something wonderful happened. And I started, seeing the two of them intermixing and kind of mingling and coming together. as one with the Black and the Latina people, and it's so profound for me. It's so profound for me because it is at that intersection that I exist. As an Afro-Colombian woman, it is at that intersection that I exist. And it's not exactly the easiest thing to be Black and to be Latina at the same time. It's just not, because you're not going to give up either one. I'm not going to give up either side of myself. So it leaves you kind of in this meantime, between time, depending on who you're around, that's who you are type of deal. And to see everybody come together like this, validation is not even the word. Validation, affirmation, all of that. And it just fills my heart, y'all. It fills my heart because I love you all.
Like literally, I've been enjoying this Black girl follow train, following a bunch of Black content creators, cheering for them, loving that that's my entire For You page right now. And clearly I missed all of the Karens out there that use that as an excuse to be fucking. And no, Black women cannot be racist against white people. Can we let Black women have one thing without society, non-Black people trashing it or copying it? One thing, no? Like literally, if you have any problem whatsoever with the Black girl follow train, most likely it's because you're racist. And if it bothers you so much, get off social media. Because Black women should not be educating all of you idiots out there for free nonstop. So I'm gonna take on this labor right now for all of you racists. Racism against white people can literally not exist because of the systemic relationship to power. What you're actually trying to say is racial prejudice, which yes, can exist. But this is not considered racism. And if I understand the difference as a non-native English speaker, as someone who learned English in their mid-20s, so can you, US-born Karen.
So as you guys can see, a lot of other Latina women are coming out to say the same thing. They admit the fact that a lot of the trends that are made popular, that are mainstream and all of that start with the Black community or are created by the Black community, and before you know it becomes mainstream. But one thing that bothers me is the fact that a lot of the things that get started by Black people, by Black women, when they become very popular and mainstream, Black people are no longer giving credit for this thing. They try to maybe whitewash it or change it in some sort of way and try to take credit for this. Or it becomes so mainstream to the fact that when other people do it, it's cool, but when Black people do it, it's ghetto. I see that happen a lot and it's just so sad. And this even makes me so proud of Black women. I'm so proud of my sisters for being that talented, for being that creative, for being innovative, for not being afraid to authentically be themselves, coming up with trends in fashion, in music, in dance, being pace setters, being trend makers, doing all of these things, even if we know that we may not get credit for it, even if we know that we may get backlash for it, even if we know that these ideas could get stolen, we know that we're going to keep being ourselves. And I'm so proud of my Black sisters for that. Another thing that sparked my curiosity is the fact that one person asked the question, why is the Black community getting called out for doing this same thing that we basically stole from them and we did as well? Why are we not receiving the same backlash? And then these Latina women talked about is because they also have whiteness in them too. And I'm thinking like, I'm trying to make sense out of it. Could it be because not all the Latinas are dark skinned? Is it because of colorism? I do not know. Or could it be because maybe the Karens got too much backlash over calling out the Black community that they decided they were not going to call out the Latina community? I don't really know. You guys, please let me know what you think in the comment section. Why this backlash is one-sided? Why is it just the white community that called out the Black girl follow train? Why are other communities silent or basically supporting or copying it? I'm going to play this video, which will probably help you guys understand why.
We 100% can take a moment to recognize that we have not seen not one other demographic of women get upset that there is a Black girl follow train except for this demographic of women. And I don't care how much they try to other themselves, they are still this. Now, I find it a little bit interesting, and if we look at it through historical context, could it be possibly because no other group of women except for this group of women has been able to escape being an ostracized and oppressed and marginalized demographic? So these other demographics of women are not upset when they see black women uplifting other black women because they know what community is. They know what it feels like to not be the default and to see women as the default. So having to have those spaces where you can solely uplift each other because society has done anything but that, could that be the reason why?
Well, eventually, some of the white women came out to try to start their own white women follow train.
If you are like me and are seeing what women of color are doing and doing this whole follow women of color train trend, and you want to open it up and
Well, I think that flopped because I don't see it trending. I don't know. You can't finish trash talking something only to go back and copy it. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, I want to wrap up this video by saying it is good for people of color, women of color to stand together and speak up for each other. If you see an injustice going on to a fellow woman of color or person of color, please speak up, because at the end of the day, we are all facing the same things. So it's good. I really admire my Latina sisters for creating their own trend, because they saw something that was good and they copied it, and then they gave credit to whom credit was due, which is black women. And I'm also proud of them for speaking up and then for looking deep into their own community, and probably it's going to trigger them to address issues of the colorism they have over there. And I'm also happy because when the Latina community did this follow train as well, the Afro Latinas finally feels included, because now they have their black side and then they have the Latina side equally represented by this trend. So I think that's just a good thing. You guys, I think I need to end this video here. This is going to be the last one on this black girl follow train, except something new happens. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to share this video to your friends who might be interested. Subscribe if you like my kind of content. Turn on notifications so that you guys know whenever I have a new video up. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.